You're a home services business and you're wondering whether you should take it in-house, hire an agency, or try to do it yourself. This episode is for you. Today on the Coach U Show, we have Danny Leibrandt, who runs Pest Control SEO and The Local Marketeer, and we're going to tell you what the agencies are not going to tell you about how to do this. So Danny, tell everyone, what's the real deal?
Yeah, so Dennis, we were talking earlier today about kind of what the problem was with agencies, and obviously there's many problems with the agency space and how agencies operate as a whole. But one problem that I identified in particular is that when home service companies in particular start to grow, because that's what we're familiar with, that's who we work with, when they start to grow, once they start to maybe hit that 10 million or so threshold, then they're starting to build in-house and they're looking to maybe cut off their agency and now they want a full-time marketing director, they want full-time SEO people, full-time Google Ads people. And also another aspect of that is having people ideally in person that are doing some of the recording for you. So what we talk a lot about is making sure that you have real content going out. And part of that comes from having people in person that are dedicated to making the content and being there with you in person that actually understand your business. So we were talking about this kind of conflicting idea of whether we should build in-house or whether we should have an agency, and talking about, can we bring that solution to the home services market?
So if you're under $1 million a year, which is under $80,000 a month, there's just not enough room to afford having your own marketing people, like maybe a VA, maybe a part-time person. So it might make sense to have an agency get things going. But here's my advice, because I've audited hundreds of home service businesses. Regardless of whether you bring it in-house or you hire an agency or you try to do it yourself, you want to start with local service ads.
Yeah.
The big shift that Google has made with LSA, which is ads on the top where it says Google Guaranteed and Google Verified, which are above the map results, is you can set that up yourself. It's not hard to do. Google's making those ads for you automatically. And now the changes in the last couple months, Ben Fisher and other friends of ours have talked about it, is that your Google business profile is what's driving your LSA.
Yeah.
The reviews are actually pulling from your Google business profile. The information that you upload, your photos and descriptions and service areas. So if you fill out all of these things and have your technicians gather reviews, then the highest ROI is to get those local service ads working. Agencies will disagree, but I don't think you need to hire an agency if you want to just get local service ads. If you want to run Google ads and Facebook ads and stuff that's a little more complicated, yeah, you need someone who can fiddle with that. But local service ads, I've seen if you're a plumber, roofer, electrician, pest control even, local service ads on Google is probably alone enough to get the bulk of what you need.
Yeah. No, it's so funny because I was just talking with a pest control owner this morning. We were up super early this morning, and about 5 a.m. I connected with this pest control owner, and he was saying, I'm trying a little bit of SEO. I see that you do SEO for pest control companies. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. What have you been doing so far? And he's like, well, I actually haven't been doing anything yet, but my parents run a restaurant and they say Google Business Profile's been working out really well. And I was like, dude, listen, I'll tell you the same thing that I tell just about every pest control owner, whether I work with them or not. And again, obviously this applies to all home services. And that is, get your Google Business Profile going and get your local service ads going. Those two are owner-friendly platforms. That's how I like to refer to them, because something like your website is really complicated.
Yeah.
Like when you're messing with WordPress and all the plugins and all the pages and all the blogs, it becomes super complex. And that's where someone like my agency steps in. And that's really the bulk of our work, is working on the website. But in terms of the Google Business Profile and the local service ads, like two really big components of those is getting reviews and getting photos up. Those are things that you can do as a local business owner. You don't need to hire anyone for those.
Right. And you need someone in-house to do that.
Yeah.
Someone who's in India or someone in some other place who isn't in your office, isn't with your technicians doing their stuff, isn't going to be best equipped. It's your technicians that are gathering those photos and videos and whatnot, centralizing them, like whether you're using a Service Titan or a House Call Pro or other tool, those tools all allow your technicians to take pictures along the way, bring it into the central database, and then it's actually very easy to be able to repurpose that into blog posts and other things like that Danny talks about. But the point about LSA and Google Business Profile that Danny was making is that you own those anyway. You're the service business. Google said these are yours. Part of the verification process, you have to show it's yours. Website, people can hold you hostage. The agency can't hold you hostage on your, well, they shouldn't, on your Google Business Profile and your LSA.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. And again, those platforms are very easy, and it's things that not only the agency shouldn't do, but it's things that the agency really can't do. Like the agency can't go out and take pictures unless they're in the city or they happen to be traveling out to you, which is like a less than 1% chance. Usually the agencies that are generating you reviews, it might be through some kind of review generation platform where, you know, they have like some kind of text automation going. But yes, reviews in particular, because those are so important, ideally we should be asking for those in person, and that's something that only your technicians can be doing.
Even if they're using the software to send out all these things, please the review, there's nothing better than getting a real review. My favorite phrase, which I taught Tommy Mello, who's got a $300 million a year garage door company, to tell his technicians is, you know, once you say, hey, can you leave us a review? Because at that point, the homeowner is happy, like, oh, they're happy with the job that you did. And then you say, about getting the review, because most of them don't know how to leave a review. Here's the magic phrase. If you give me your phone, I'll show you how. And then they just hand over the phone, and then you can scan the QR code or look for it in Google Maps and leave that review. The beauty is when that review is left on their phone, which is in their account, it's geo-IP tagged from that house. So it sends multiple levels of signal to Google that that is a legit review, kind of like Danny and I talked about in the new era of SEO blog, which you should, or sorry, YouTube, which you should watch, on what are those signals of real experience. Experience, expertise, authority, trust. Google added that experience component because all this AI generated, agency generated kind of nonsense.
Yeah, 100%. And then the other component of that, which I think that was like a really good wrap up of reviews, the other component is getting photos and videos up, which most companies aren't doing. And again, that's something in person. So I mean, as an agency or someone outside, we can coach on how to take photos and videos, but we're not actually taking the photos or videos. Right. That's something you need to do in-house, which, by the way, you can do in-house. It's not like you need someone like me to coach you. You can just do that on your own.
Yeah.
So those are really powerful as well, and you need to have people in your company taking photos. So again, that might be an in-house person, or that might be training up your technicians.
Amen. And the funny thing is that I've traveled around the last few years going to plumbers and garage door guys and whatnot on site to help these technicians, as you'll see, gather these things. And they have this preconceived notion that you need a professional videographer. Like, oh, I got a videographer who's going to come take headshots of our people in our vans and all. We had Dan Antonelli of Kick Charge design our new vans and all this. That's great, but there's nothing more powerful than true cell phone video. And now anyone with an iPhone, somehow, like, for some reason, we don't know why, the pictures and videos on an iPhone outperform everything else.
Yeah, and it's because people like it so much more. Yeah. People like to see real experiences. Like when you use like a $2,000 camera and you're taking all these quality headshots. I mean, I think you should have those on your website and your Google Business Profile. But yeah, it looks like an advertisement. It doesn't look real. Yeah. And especially in the new digital age where people want to connect. People are used to using TikTok, used to using Instagram, used to using these platforms where everyone else is using iPhone video. You just need like, I don't know, an iPhone in the last few years or so. Yeah. Take content, make it real, make sure that like your face is in it. Another problem I see is that people never include their faces. Yeah. It's always like what they're doing.
The lawns or the roofs or whatever.
It's the first person POV. Yeah. You want to make sure that someone's face is in it, and ideally they're smiling, they have a good attitude. So either someone else is recording them or you're recording yourself doing the thing.
And that's the key to a powerful story. Like you've heard, like be authentic and tell stories. And meanwhile, like my friend Greg Beebe, who runs Excel Concrete Coating in Waukesha, Wisconsin, you look at his Facebook page or blog and all that is just pictures of all the floors that his team has done, but there's no story. Yeah. The key to the story is what Danny said, people. Think about your favorite Disney or whatever kind of, the story, a good story involves a person and their particular journey. This video you're watching right now is shot on my iPhone. I literally pulled it out of my pocket. We are in central London right now. It's like 8 a.m. We're about to go to the British Museum. We're having these, I don't know what these sort of pastries are with our buddy John. We're about to have a full English breakfast. And it's like you were sitting with us in London while we're having coffees together.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sipping the coffee and eating the stuff because I'm not worried about, like when you're talking to a friend at the coffee shop or having lunch, it's that level of comfort, right?
Yeah, no, it's funny because the iPhone is literally sat on a tripod that is sat on the chairs. It's literally like this is another person sitting with us.
A third person.
And I think, honestly, this is something that people just have to get comfortable with. I know you are just super acquainted with this at this point of just making content whenever you have a great idea, whenever something comes to mind, create a video on it.
Yeah.
I think people have to get rid of that kind of middle phase of like, oh, I have a great idea, to actually making the video. Stop thinking so much. Stop trying to make the video perfect. Just start making videos and start putting content out there. And the reality is, your first videos are probably going to blow. Like the quality might not be good. It might be shaky. It might be not be right. It might get no views. But the whole point is, you keep iterating on that. The videos keep getting better. And really, one of the main things is just getting any content out there at all. Most companies have no good content whatsoever.
So most of you guys, you're so afraid of making video, you wouldn't dare eat while you're on video.
Yeah.
But the way I view it is, we're just having a conversation. The minute you think like it's video and the whole internet could see it and they're judging me, you're gonna freeze up and it's gonna just create this uncomfortable situation. But if you just view this as someone else in your city, another homeowner where they're interested in your services, or this is a friend of someone else, because social media will show it to your friends and then the friends of these friends who engage, then there's no pressure, right? I mean, yeah, technically a billion people could see this video here, but it's probably only gonna get a few hundred.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to help you guys as home service businesses. We're very clear. This is for you guys as home service businesses to decide, do you want to learn how to do it, take it in-house, or hire an agency?
Yeah.
And we've had this conversation so many times with so many business owners that we just want to give that to you. It costs Danny and I nothing to do this. Like once we make this, our team processes it and using AI tools and whatever. But then thousands of people, we can help with this. But of course, we do a good job, they're going to want to reach out to Danny, say, Danny, I know you have a service where you'll help my team bring it in-house. Am I a fit for this service? Or I know you also have some done-for-you services as an agency. Well, I want to talk to you, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you charge for the implementation, like you said, with closing all of it, but you give away your information for free.
Yeah, and we've kind of seen overall, and this is actually why I've jumped into the industry at all, and I know why you're such a huge proponent of it, is that there is a huge missing factor of real good marketing in home service local businesses. They are majorly struggling. Maybe e-commerce or SaaS, those guys are all crushing it. But in terms of home services, they are really behind. And especially in terms of a real life service that actually does bring value and that does have longevity. Like, you're always going to need a plumber. You're always going to need an HVAC guy. You're always going to need a pest control guy. With these services that are going to exist for forever, and that's why we believe in them, how can we make sure that they're marketed properly and that the best companies are showing up? So this is what we love to do. And what I'm saying regarding that is helping companies pick which one is right for them. Because my main thing right now is the agency, but I'd love to provide other services of like, okay, here's the course. And obviously I have the podcast as well. That's another tier. You can watch all my podcasts for free. I've interviewed like all the top people in home service, local marketing. So
huge trust. I mean,
yeah.
good grief, this guy's gone from nothing in a year and a half to all the top names in local. So when you see that he structured his implementation, his experience, everything from these other experts into a course for pest control companies, it's legit because it's already vetted by all these other people. He's already done all this kind of research, so it's not just like some young bro with a course.
Yeah, and relating to the podcast, I think it's listening to someone with a podcast definitely makes them more trustworthy because they're pulling a consensus from all the top experts in the industry. So the same way that I'm actively collaborating with Jonas Olson, and he's interviewed over 100 pest control company owners that are doing over $1 million a year. Like, you'd think, regardless of what he knows, he is pulling some information from all those owners that he's communicated with, and I'm sure he's communicating with them outside of the podcast as well. That is really powerful. Knowing someone, not just, maybe they're talking about them behind closed, or talking to them behind closed doors or interacting with them on social media, but that you have that proof that they are interacting with all of these top people in the industry and they are actively learning from them. Like, I like to think that I am really standing on the shoulders of giants, like you of many people, Dennis, that I'm just learning from all the top people in the industry. Like, what is everyone saying? Let me get a consensus of like, okay, click through rate manipulation, definitely shouldn't do that. Okay, we definitely should be setting up these website pages. Okay, everyone's saying do Google Business Profile and local service ads. Okay, we have to be doing those. Getting a consensus from all the experts in the industry is really important as well.
What's cool about this kind of consensus on how Danny is showing not only that he has perceived authority, but actual results of implementation in pest control and home services, the same applies to you. The reason why I'm so bullish about home services is because, unlike e-com or these other ones, is that if you are a plumber in Forney, Texas, right, Fox Heating and Air, Richard McClure, then you're only trying to compete in Forney, Texas, a suburb of Dallas. You're not competing against San Diego, LA, New York, Chicago. And so home services is actually really easy. If you look at the average keyword difficulty, like how much effort it is to rank on a certain term for, Colorado Springs roofer or Phoenix, Arizona HVAC, keyword difficulty is usually less than 10.
Yeah.
Right? On a 0 to 100 scale. And thus, all these guys, they suck so bad at their marketing, yet the bar to win is so low that we think you could actually bring it in-house if you follow what Danny and I are talking about. Can you collect the reviews, photos and videos, push it to the website? You can hire a VA to do all those kinds of things, right? But and then watch the LSA, which means like answer the calls and this kind of thing. So Google will continue to give you calls, collect reviews, that kind of thing. So I'm super bullish about this because in the same way Danny is building his expertise and reputation among pest control and local SEO folks, you can do that in your area, in your city, right? If you were in Las Vegas and you're an electrician, then do everything you can to show that you are connected with other people in Las Vegas and other electricians in other places, right? And I can go example like our buddy Nielsen Silva, Master Touch Pools. He's in a suburb of Fort Lauderdale, or all the different suburbs in Fort Lauderdale. He's built all these pools, and he's like the mayor. Remember, we were with him in the Brazilian community and all that. Like, he knows everybody. And so he has all the proof of these relationships. He's got a $16 million a year pool company, servicing pools, building pools, constructing things, pool software. He's a lighthouse, well known in the pool industry of all the pool builders. They know who he is, right? At conferences, he's a celebrity. So do the same thing in your neighborhood. Can you be the local celebrity in your town? You probably already are. It's just not visible digitally. So all Danny and I are saying is, look, digital marketing, all these other people will try to make it seem like it's this difficult thing. It's just making those things visible. What needs to happen to make those things visible? Well, Danny has a course. If you're a pest control company, definitely got to buy the course. But all the other stuff, if you're a home service business and you want to bring it in-house, it's the same principles.
Yeah, it is the same principles. Like I hate to say it because you want to make things seem like they're special. And I'm the #1 guy in pest control SEO, but really all those home services are more or less the same. They are very, very similar. Like Google Business Profile, local service ads, location pages, getting like the EAT content going. It's all the same stuff across all of these different industries. So especially if you're a pest control owner, yes, definitely buy the course. Thank you for that endorsement, Dennis. And any home services, I think it'll genuinely help. It's a 10-step, very in-depth program. I spent over a month on it, refining it, really the ideas behind it for the past few years now. I think the course is awesome. And I think you'll really like it.
And this is a mini promo within a podcast. If you're a pest control company, if you own a pest control company and you want to know exactly how digital marketing works and how to audit it and bring it in-house eventually, you're going to want to go through the 10 steps, 10 chapters that Danny has in his course. This is the #1 guy in pest control SEO. Why? Because there's not very many of them. And he's not paying me to say this. I'm not an affiliate.
Yeah.
I don't get any money. I didn't give you an affiliate code. I'm telling you this because I believe in this man. And the fact that we're here in London and we're about to go hit the British Museum in an hour and do all this stuff shows that it's a real vouch, right? And I think you guys know that too. In your industry, in your city, your reputation, the word of mouth and all that kind of stuff, you might not be able to measure all of it and put UTM parameters and pixels, but you understand reputation and reviews and, being known in your neighborhood. If you believe that's the case, then this course is right for you.
Yeah.
If you believe that reputation and gathering these pieces is key to you growing digitally instead of some magic voodoo CTR manipulation stuff, then the stuff that Danny and I teach is going to work for you because we're leveraging things the right way with real reputation. And this is a real English breakfast.
It just got served.
Look at this, our buddy John. People say British food sucks. Look at this crunchy, I wish you could smell and taste this. The AI's not there yet, but I think these are called rashers of bacon and a sausage. And then they have these baked beans, which are kind of sweet.
Yeah.
But it's cool, like the hot tomato, I don't know if you guys can see this, but like this hot tomato and the runny egg, if you mix it with these baked beans, it's actually really, I would have this every morning when I was here in London for like a year and a half. Like this was the only thing I look forward to. Like otherwise I would just sleep. Downstairs they have all this food. This smells great. I wish you could smell it. Anyway.
Yeah.
See, we're just sharing real experiences, and that's what you need to do. So if you are willing to share real experiences, if your customers love you and your home service business, you're going to want to check out the course that Danny has. And if you want to learn how to bring someone in-house, a son or daughter, maybe you have a VA that's been doing other stuff that you want to repurpose into doing digital marketing, which is taking these raw ingredients, no pun intended, to EEAT. That's actually the key that Google and social media algorithms are looking for. It's not some AI magic thing. I'm a search engine engineer. I can tell you what we were looking for, and this was like 25 plus years ago. What we were looking for is signs that you were real, because we're assuming like all these SEO people, WordPress, whatever gurus are trying to trick us, but the real signal, like this video being made in London while we're eating food, whatever, has all the real signals. It's shot on an iPhone, it's uploaded to Google Photos, it's repurposed to YouTube, it includes all the tags and other sorts of metadata associated with it, like all these other things that show the signal that this is real. This is not AI generated. When we publish the article, it's linking to hundreds, actually 1,100 photos and videos of Danny and I doing stuff over the last, I don't know, how many countries have we been in, right?
I know a lot.
There's true proof of this, right? I think Facebook has polluted the idea of the term friend, right? Because like, do you really know that person? Are they a friend? You don't want to say they're not a friend, right? But can you elevate people in your, if I Google your name, do I see evidence of you and your community, of your technicians doing the stuff that they do, fixing, busted drains and all the things that, on the roof and all they're doing, all the stuff that you're doing. It's literally that simple. And so if you believe in that, consider Danny's programs or other Dannys that are in other industries, but we all are doing the same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you've been burned by the last 3 agencies, which is what we hear all the time, part of it's on them for just being, money bros that just want your money and don't actually do anything. We see that all the time. But part of it is on you for not understanding what you're actually hiring that person to do.
Yeah, 100%. And to wrap this up, I'll just say that me and Dennis's mission is ultimately to help as many home service local businesses as possible. So there's no one defined route for that. It's not like, okay, just buy the course and then you're good. It's not just work with my agency and then all the problems are solved. We really want to solve all of the problems at every different level and for whatever solution you're looking for. So that might be a course. Maybe you just have to watch a few podcast episodes and things click. Or maybe you need the full service through the agency. So really, we want to help as many home service local businesses as possible, and through any avenue that means.
Right, and sometimes that might mean you just want someone like Danny to do it for you. That's great. It may mean you have a son or daughter that you want to run through training. Go ahead and ask any of us or ask any of the people in our network. We're here to help you because you set the example for all the other home service businesses. So love to hear, what do you guys think? Reach out. We don't bite. We're on all the different socials.
We don't bite.
You can Google him or me and let us know, right? Let's work together here.
Yeah. Feel free to reach out to me or Dennis. You can Google us, find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, wherever works best for you, and we will reply definitely within the day. We're super active everywhere.
So tune in next time for another episode of the Coach U Show, where we interview actual practitioners sharing how they do what they do. If you like that, let us know what you think.